Hi Pisces, welcome to Carol's Universe Tarot Readings, Tarot Readings from the Heart. So this is your, how does your ex feel for you, feel about you Pisces. Now, we did about a couple of months ago, how does he or she feel about you? And, you know, that reading could have been for an ex, it could have been for a partner, it could have been for anyone. But what we wanted to do on this reading, this was suggested by a lot of subscribers to do, so I'm going to sort of do this reading because I really like it a lot. It's quite in-depth. It's a 12 area reading, and this is specifically for you guys who have got an ex. So if you've got an ex, whether this person is still around you or not, but you class them as being an ex, this is the ex reading. So this is how the ex feels about you. Now, just to let you know what the areas are, in position 1, we've got who the ex is in their life right now. Position 2, what are the strengths of the ex? This can be good or bad. Position 3 is what is the weakness of the ex. Position 4 is how the ex feels about you. Position 5, how you feel about the ex. Position 6, what were the strengths in the relationship when you were with the ex. Position 7, what were the weaknesses in the relationship when you were with the ex. Position 8, what is the possibility of you and the ex reconciling. Position 9, what is the overall analysis of who this ex is as a person. Position 10, let me just remember what position 10 is. It's sometimes, because I don't have my list in front of me, sometimes it's hard to remember all of the areas. Yeah, what is the blockage to you and the ex really being together? Position 11, what would be the outcome if you and the ex were to get back together? And position 12, what you should do if the ex came back asking for a reconciliation. Okay, what we're using for this is the Pamela Coleman Smith deck of cards, and we're also using clarifiers, my Small Handsome Roberts deck tarot to go. Really good. If you want to learn tarot, get this from Amazon. They're only $5.99. Really good, and you get a little booklet in with it as well. So we're going to put these to the side here, and we're going to start shuffling the cards. So Universe Spirit, show me, who is this ex in their life right now? Who is the ex of Pisces in their life right now? Show me. And pardon me if I have to mess around with the camera angles if things aren't all together on the screen. Position 2. What are the strengths of this ex in position 2? Position 3. What are the weaknesses of this ex? What is their weakness? Position 4. How does the ex feel for Pisces? Position 5, how does Pisces feel for the ex? Position 6, what were the strengths in the relationship when Pisces was with the ex? Position 7, what were the weaknesses in the relationship when Pisces was with the ex? Position 8, what is the likelihood of the ex and Pisces getting back together? Position 9, what's the overall analysis of who this ex is for Pisces? Position 10, what is the blockages, the real blockages to Pisces and this ex being together? Position 11, what would be the outcome of the relationship if Pisces and the ex were to get back together? And position 12, if the ex came back asking Pisces for another chance, what should Pisces do? Alright, so we've got all our areas here. Yeah, they're all, yeah, it's all kind of nice and in line on the screen. Let's just push these down just a tad. Just a little bit. There we go. Just so we get to see everything on the screen. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Let's have a look at... I want to see if I've got a pointer pen anywhere that I can use. I don't think there is one close by. I'm looking in drawers behind me at the moment. Yeah, we've got a pointer pen here. Okay. So, who is the ex in their life right now? They're the Star in the reverse. So this person might be on a bit of a downer at the minute because, and the Star in the reverse, the Star in the upright is a card about somebody who likes to be recognised. somebody who's out there, somebody who is taken great notice of. There's a lot of recognition that comes with that star in the upright. So it might be that this person's a little bit withdrawn at the moment. Maybe they've withdrawn from being in the spotlight. Maybe they're not dating at the moment. Maybe they're not putting themselves out there on the market with the star in the reverse. Maybe they're in a very far-flung place, because the star means to be unreachable. So this person might be unreachable in terms of not wanting to socialise, or maybe not wanting to get out and about and find new relationships, or mingle or interact with people with the star in the reverse. The star in the reverse is also somebody who lacks inspiration, and they lack hope, and they lack faith. I'm getting the impression that this ex at the moment probably is on a little bit of a downer, or they're going through some form of internal spiritual journey within their life, with the star at the moment being in the reverse for who the ex is in their life at the moment. So it's not looking too great for who this ex is at the moment, with that star being in the reverse. What is the ex's strength as a person? Wow, moon in the reverse. So the moon in the reverse represents somebody who's got great insight. The moon in the reverse is somebody who can see things clearly, because the moon in the upright is somebody who's... there's two things really with the moon in the reverse. One of the things with the moon... Well, in the upright, when the moon is in the upright, this is a card about anxiety, nervousness, fear, uncertainty, lack of clarity. But it can also be the card that says somebody keeps a lot of secrets. So really, the strength of this person in the reverse should be that this person's a truth teller, or they know how to tell the truth. Some of you guys might disagree with that, because a lot of the time exes are exes because they tend to lie. But in the reverse, this person tends to be quite transparent as a person. So their strength is good, I feel, with the moon in the reverse, because it might be as a strength. This person is quite... They're quite transparent as a person. They don't tend to hold on to secrets. They tend to be as honest as they possibly can. This person also, I think, tends to be the type of person as a strength that likes to find resolutions to issues. So if there's a problem going on, if you get a moon in the upright and there's a problem going on, sometimes you don't know how to resolve it, because there's such a lack of clarity going on with this card. But in the reverse, this is all about having the deep insight into an issue and knowing how to resolve it. So this person possibly, their strengths are conflict resolution, or their strengths are to resolve any issues within their life that they're finding to be quite negative. And yet as a person, they say, maybe it's because of this area here that they're finding it as the star in the reverse. Maybe they need to retract and take a little bit of time out for themselves. They look quite withdrawn with the star in the reverse as a person, and they look quite doubtful. They look like they might be going through a few issues here with the star in the reverse in their life right now. But it might be because their strengths are that they're facing up to the truth of a situation with the moon in the reverse. There's a great deal of transparency, and especially as the moon is also very much an internal card as well. You've got that insight, that mental clarity, that emotional clarity with the moon in the reverse. So I think that this, whatever is going on here as a strength, might be affecting them right now with the star in the reverse. What is the weakness of this person, Pisces? The Nine of Coins in the reverse. Well, this person doesn't really like to be on their own, because the Nine of Coins in the reverse represents somebody who likes to be with people. The Nine of Coins in the reverse. Also, the Nine of Coins in the reverse can be money. So when you've got a Nine of Coins in the reverse, this is about making bad investments, or this is about using the resources that you have stupidly, using them in a silly way, being irresponsible with your cash. That type of thing. It might be that their weakness with the Nine of Coins in the reverse is that they always like to be in relationships, or they don't really like spending that time on their own, having that time to evaluate life on their own. Because the Nine of Coins in the upright is a card about somebody, and this would, you know, even if it was a weakness, this would, as a weakness, if this card had been in the upright, it might be the weakness with the Nine of Coins being their weakness is that they find it very difficult to share. Because Nine of Coins is a woman who values her own freedom, and she tends to value her own independence. And if that had been in the upright, it might be that this person, their weakness is they're very staunch on having their own independence and their own freedom as an individual. It might be that they like things for them. It might be that they don't really want to be in relationships, because they don't mind having, you know, flighty relationships, short-term relationships, relationships that aren't deemed relationships. But it's reversed. That might have been in the upright if this card had been in the upright, that they were this type of person. But the Nine of Coins in the reverse means either that you can be pretty stupid with your money, you're irresponsible with money, you're not taking care of your resources. could be something like that as a weakness with this ex, but also this person might be the type of person who doesn't like being on their own. So I always kind of like to be in relationships with that Nine of Coins in the reverse. But I feel as a strength, it might be that they're very aware of that, because there's a great deal of self-awareness. I feel is the ex's strength here, and this might be the thing that's putting them on a downer at the moment. Why is it that they don't want to be on their own? Why is it that they don't like being, like taking time out? This person looks to me like the type of person that might hop from relationship to relationship because they're afraid really of their own shadow, if that makes any sense. How does the ex feel for you, Pisces? Well, they're very surrendered with the Seven of Wands in the reverse. So the Seven of Wands in the reverse, and they're all reversals, which is really interesting. The Seven of Wands in the reverse is somebody who accepts a situation. In the upright, this person's always fighting. They're all in the upright, this person's always fighting. If this had been in the upright, it might be in terms of their feelings for you. They want to kind of push you out because you've got a Seven of Wands in the upright. This person is fiercely defiant. So when it comes to relationships, this person's always got limitations, or they're saying, no, I don't want this, and no, I don't want that, because I don't want you. You've got the Six Wands here, and these are the hands that are reaching out and saying, give it to me. And the ex is saying with the 1-1, well, no. This relationship only goes so far, or I'm putting barriers, or I'm putting limitations up. In the reverse, this person tends to conform. But I think it's more about that they're in a place of acceptance. Because if you thought about cards like the Seven of Wands, Eight of Swords, all of those types of cards, Ten of Wands as well, they represent people that put barriers up. But when they're reversed, they tend to let those barriers down. So this isn't a card about clarity, because the Eight of Swords is the mental card. So Ace of Swords in the reverse would be that you've got the limitations are lifting, you've got great clarity, mental clarity especially. When you get wand energy, it's more about the energy that one feels. It's more about, because it's a fire. It's a fire energy. So when I look at the wand cards, they remind me of the cup cards, but they're just more in terms of passion and energy and drive and motivation and aggression, that type of thing. It's more the fire end of how somebody might feel rather than the emotional end of how somebody might feel. So in terms of fire, this person seems to have let go of the tension. So I feel with the Seven of Wands in the reverse, how they feel for you is that they're quite surrendered. I'm sensing a place of peace and acceptance concerning you, especially in the area of emotion, more than likely with this Seven of Wands being in the reverse. How do you feel about them, Pisces? Well, the Queen of Pentacles energy shows here. Now, these cards are not sort of set in, you know, you wouldn't say just with the Queen of Pentacles that... The one thing with this Queen of Pentacles, there are two cards, especially the court cards, that show in the tarot that show people who are very committed to something long-term, whether that be marriage or just a long-term relationship. And that's Queen of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles. Both people want to drive a relationship towards being something that is more complete, more settled and more grounded, and she's one of these cards. So you feel the Queen of Pentacles for them. I think that in one sense, Pisces, you're in a place of assessment about this individual, because the Queen of Pentacles represents the need to have common sense. She's looking at the Pentacles and she's saying, she's looking at the Ace of Pentacles, all the court cards, the Page, the Knight, the Queen, the King, they've all got a pentacle. And what that pentacle has in common is that it's actually the ace. So we're looking at the Ace of Pentacles here as the Queen of Pentacles, and she's saying, you know, should I, you know, is there the potential here for this relationship to start a venture here? So I think that you've possibly with this card showing us how you feel about this person as the Queen of Pentacles. I think there's a great deal of assessment that comes with this individual. But I think in that assessment, because it's a pentacle and because we know that the Ace of Pentacles is the start of a long-term venture, it is just a pentacle, and it is just when we get the aces, they are just the seeds in the beginning and the concept of a situation. So we've got a lot more work to do from an ace card that shows up. With the Ace of Coins, this is usually about material, it's about resources, but it's also about realism, reality, and using your common sense. And when this Queen looks at the Pentacles, she says, well, there is potential here, but I'm wondering, you know, does it have the potential to sustain itself? If I plant this in any area here, does this have the potential to be something that's long-term, something that I can grow and something that I can nurture? So I think that you really, in terms of your feelings, because Pentacles represent the worker cards, they're the worker energy of the tarot, you're looking at this person in much more of a realistic sense. So you're looking at this in this X and saying, but what would have been the potential for us to invest in this relationship, for us to build this relationship? So there is still, I think for some of you guys, how you feel about this ex is that you're still in the evaluation mode of who this individual is and who the relationship, what the relationship was overall. What were the strengths in this relationship? And also this is the card about fertility. So she's a very fertile person. So what she's wanting to do is she's wanting to nurture and grow something. So for some of you guys, your feelings might still be in that place where you are still wanting to nurture, grow, and build something with this ex, because it's a Queen of Pentacles energy. Whereas this person here, the ex, has surrendered. They've surrendered their energy, basically, concerning you. How they feel about you with the Seven of Wands in the reverse. So they feel in a place of surrender. But that doesn't tell us anything. We have to really get the clarifiers on this area to see what's going on. What is the strengths in your relationship? Or what were the strengths? Well, honesty should have been the strength, because you got the Seven of Swords in the reverse. And for some reason, I had a feeling that card would show up somewhere along the line, because we had that Moon in the reverse. So the Seven of Swords, the strength in the relationship should really have been honesty, because the Seven of Swords in the reverse represents when you are, you know, you're not fooling about. You shouldn't be fooling about, because this is the card that says even if there was a deception, what's happening here is knowing that this deception cannot last. So sometimes you get the Seven of Swords in the reverse and it says, well, somebody's not going to mess about because they know they're going to get caught, or they're afraid of getting caught. Sometimes this is the card of getting caught. But often this is the card about living in the truth, because the Seven of Swords in the upright can be about living a lie. It can be about when you are fooling yourself. So I think the strength in the relationship, if it wasn't honesty, which often when exes are exes, it's because there's been some dishonesty. I feel that because it's reversed, this is about knowing what the truth was. Nobody was fooling themselves in this relationship. So I feel that there was an element just showing here with the exes their strength as being transparency, especially transparency in terms of who they are off the self with the Moon in the reverse. That the strengths in this relationship, whether it was that there was any type of deception or anything that happened in this relationship, it was the knowing with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. I think the strengths were, and because the swords are mental cards as well, I think mentally there was a very strong energy in terms of the mental capacity to know what the truth was, whether that was in terms of who each other were, whether this was in terms of you knowing who this ex really was with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. Nobody was really fooling themselves in this relationship, which was a good thing. What is the weakness? What was the weakness when you were with this person? Well, the Five of Swords was the weakness. So the Five of Swords is not a great card in love, however you want to see that card, because the Five of Swords can represent an opportunist, a liar, a cheat, unfaithful person. So it might be the strength where that you knew who this ex was with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. You weren't fooling yourself. You knew exactly what you had. You knew exactly who this person was, because the weakness was the Five of Swords. And it might be the weakness with the Five of Swords is that the ex was the opportunist. The ex was the unfaithful one, perhaps. Not all the time. It might be the weakness was that there was great conflict, because when you get a Five of Swords in a love reading, this represents two people where one has the upper hand in the relationship. One person, sometimes you get the Five of Swords and one person is trying to disempower the other person. That can be through communication. So it can be through a case of you put, you know, a lipstick on one day, if you're a female watching this, and your ex turns around and says that lipstick looks horrible on you, or it makes you look pale, or what are you doing? You're going to the mortuary, that type of thing. So it's the way to, when we get the Five of Swords, there's all sorts of factors that come in with this card. One of the weaknesses can be unfaithfulness. One of the weaknesses can be that the ex was taking advantage in the relationship, to which you would probably have been very much aware. So I think that there was great the strength in this relationship was great mental awareness with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, because the weakness was somebody in this relationship was taking advantage with the Five of Swords. There might have even been some cheating, because this is the card of unfaithfulness as well. What is the potential for you guys to reconcile, Pisces? Yeah, there is potential for you to reconcile, because you've got Death in the reverse showing up here. Death in the reverse means that you don't fully close the door. So the door isn't fully closed on this relationship. When you get a Death in the reverse, I often also see this card, Pisces, as being the card that says that there is a, it's like judgment. There is turning back of the clock. So there is renewal. There's a second time around situation going on with Death in the reverse, because Death in the reverse means to come back to life. So this is to resurrect, basically. This is the person coming out of the tomb or out of the grave. So there's definitely, I feel here, the potential for you guys to reconcile is a yes, because death is reversed, and this is the card of resurrection, turning back the clock and never fully closing the door on the past. So there is the potential for you guys to reconcile here. Who is this ex overall? What is the overall analysis of who this ex is, Pisces? They're the Page of Coins in the reverse. They're lazy. They're lazy and they want everything for free. They don't want to put any work in. They don't want to take the time to invest, to work, to be. This person's probably very irresponsible as well. Could be, and they're showing us the Nine of Coins in their weakness as well. So there might be something around money as well, that this person's very irresponsible with their cash. Because the Page of Coins in the upright is all about the need to be responsible with money and with what you have. And in the reverse, you're not particularly responsible with it. You might be spending too much, overspending, not thinking about a rainy day, not saving your resources, that type of thing. And we see here the weakness and Nine of Coins in the reverse. Two cards in the reverse that can mean somebody's irresponsible and uses their resources badly. So there might be something around this ex in which there's a financial thing going on where they're not very good with their money as well. But as a Page of Coins is in the mainstream, this person is lazy. They don't tend to want to put the work in. They tend to want everything for free. They tend to want to jump the gun. So they want to, instead of taking the necessary steps and processes towards making a relationship work, what they want to do is jump from A through to Z in a heartbeat rather than taking the time. The Page of Coins in the reverse isn't a particularly loyal person or even committed individual. So this person, I feel, might be a little bit flaky as an individual overall. But I think that their strength is the Moon in the reverse, that they actually recognise what their flaws are with the Moon in the reverse. And this might be why they're a little bit down at the moment with the Star in the reverse. Okay, so they might have just taken themselves out of life completely in one way or another because they're recognising that they're these things. Also because it might be something to do with money or the fact that they can't sustain. Because as an overall, the Page of Coins in the reverse is somebody who's very lazy. This is usually a card that represents a student who learns how to use their resources properly. This is somebody who would be into books, somebody who would like to read, somebody who would like to learn. But this person would, in the reverse, the Page of Coins is the type of student who won't go to his lectures. He'll stay in bed all day and read comics. What is the major blockages to you and this ex being together, Pisces? There you go, Justice in the reverse. I think that there has been great injustice in this relationship. I think that some of you guys, it might be that you've been treated very unfairly in this relationship, because Justice in the reverse means that you don't get your rewards. It means that you're being treated really unfairly in a relationship. It means that the relationship is very, very unbalanced. So I think that some of you guys, the blockage to you actually really being together, Pisces, is because there's been a lot of unfair behaviour in this relationship with the Justice card in the reverse. I'm seeing a lot of great imbalance in this relationship with the Justice card in the reverse. I'm seeing one-sidedness. I'm seeing the inability to find an equal balance. It's like Temperance in the reverse with the Justice energy showing up here in the reverse. Also, Justice for me is one of the soulmate cards, because when you get this card, it means that you've found your perfect partner. So I feel that there is some of you guys, you're not even with a soulmate, I feel, with the Justice energy in the reverse. I don't think that you're with the person that you're meant to be with. And I think for some of you guys, you know that, and yet there is the possibility for reconciliation, but we'll see why that is. If you were to come back together with the ex, what would the outcome be? Well, there you go, the Three of Coins is reversed. It wouldn't end well with the Three of Coins in the reverse, because what you would find with the Three of Coins in the reverse, either it's going to go back to this. If you've been treated unfairly, it would have been because maybe the ex wasn't paying you any attention, because the Three of Coins in the reverse means that people don't see you. People aren't paying attention. If you run a business, and if somebody were to say to me and say to me, look, I've got this business running, and you know, it's on the internet and it sells children's clothes and there's lots of competitors. It was doing well before, it's not doing very well now. What will be the outcome for this business? And I had this card in the reverse. I would probably say, well, it looks to me that your clientele is starting to phase off. It looks to me that they're not really looking at the website anymore. They're not really watching what you do. They're not coming to you because they want to buy stuff. Because this shows when you get a Three of Coins in reverse, somebody who's not being recognised for their skills, their abilities. So justice, if the obstacle is Justice in the reverse, where there's been a lot of unfair behaviour in this relationship with the Justice card in the reverse, it might be because This might be why the outcome is a Three of Coins in reverse. It might be that you still find that there's a lot of unfair behaviour where you're not being recognised for stuff. Also, the Three of Coins in the reverse means the inability to work within a team, the inability to share ideas and work together on ideas. There's a lack of camaraderie and a lack of collaboration when this card is reversed. Also, when you get the threes reversed, they represent people who don't want to participate. So this could represent what's the word that I'm looking for? This represents when somebody wants to withdraw from a partnership. So I'm seeing withdrawal with the Three of Coins in the reverse showing up. If you were to come back together with the ex, one of you is probably going to withdraw. One of you isn't going to want to work on the partnership with the Three of Coins showing in the reverse. There could also be the ex. I don't know whether it's you or the ex, but more than likely the ex isn't going to be able to sustain that paying attention. When you get the Three of Coins in the upright, this is all about making improvements in the relationship. While in the reverse, this is not going to happen because there probably won't be, the outcome will be no improvements as well with the Three of Coins in the reverse in terms of this relationship. If the ex came back asking for a second chance, Pisces, what should you do? Well, you should say no. Four of Wands in the reverse. Four of Wands in the reverse would be a no. Four of Wands in the reverse would say move. Because it's a moving card as well. So move. Don't mean move home, just say no. Because a Four of Wands in the upright means the successful completion of a first stage project. When you get that Four of Wands in the upright, that can be marriage, it can be engagement. But as a venture or as a project, it says that you've had some initial success. So this is, you've won. This is where you've won initially, you've won something. There's more work to be done with the Four of Wands showing here. But you're at that initial stage of success. It's the first stage of success that you've got here because you've completed something with the Four of Wands in the reverse. But in the upright. But in the reverse, really, what should you do with the Four of Wands in the reverse? Well, really, what you should do with this Four of Wands in the reverse is not even perhaps, I feel, considers trying to stabilise this relationship or working on it. Because this is the yes card. Somebody says, I'm not going to get married. You get that Four of Wands, it's more than likely going to be a yes. If it's in the reverse, that's more than likely going to be a no. So you shouldn't even be going there with this ex with that Four of Wands. This is no bueno, no agreement with the Four of Wands in the reverse. Let's get some clarifiers on this, these areas and see what's going on. As I say, we're using the Hanson Roberts deck, miniature deck on these. So why is this ex showing us the Star in the reverse? Why is Pisces ex showing us the Star in the reverse? Show me in two cards. Well, you've got a Four of Wands here. So Four of Wands is all about the home. It's all about happiness. And also, I think here in the outcome, this is about you shutting your doors and closing yourself off to the ex as well with the Four of Wands in the reverse. So they're this here because of the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is happiness, it's joy, it's completion, successful first stage completion, it's marriage, it's engagement, it's a happy relationship. They've left something here. Can you see that, the Six of Wands? Now, you could have read this area here and said, you know, in their life, right? There's two ways I'm looking at this, because if we were to read the words together, well, the Six of Wands is in a victory. All right, the Four of Wands is the home or a marriage. So for some of your exes, it might be explaining that right now they're out of reach to you completely with the Star in the reverse, completely out of reach in their life concerning you. Because it might be within a marriage or an engagement or a relationship, a new relationship as well with that Four of Wands. This person might have had some victory and success with the Six of Rods. However, if you look at the pictures on the cards, you've got the Six of Rods guy walking out. He's basically leaving the Four of Wands. So it might be that this person, at the same time, for some of you guys, it might be that they're out of reach to you with the Star in the reverse, because within a relationship, they've had victory. Within a situation, the Four of Wands, they've had some victory within their lives, success. For some of you, however, it might be with the Star in the reverse that this person's going through a time of depression, feeling very low within themselves, feeling a lack of happiness, inspiration, feeling a lack of hope with the Star in the reverse for some of these exes, because it might be that there was a relationship here with the Four of Wands that they happen to have left. Because the Six of Wands guy, if you get a Nine of Pentacles, and the lady on the Nine of, say for example, we have this Nine of Coins here. Can you see how she looks back at that Six of Wands? This is the woman remembering somebody who left her. Okay, so what tends to happen is when you get these cards is where you look at the pictures on the card. So it also might be for some of you guys that this person, a relationship that they had, Could be a marriage, could be an engagement with somebody else. They left. This could also be you. Perhaps they're feeling down because the relationship that they had with you, they walked out on it. They left it because they're walking out. Can you see how they're moving in the other direction from the Four of Wands? So it could be that as well. So there's two explanations I've got there for that energy. Why is this ex's strength the Moon in the reverse? Why is the ex's strength the Moon in the reverse? Why is this ex's strength the Moon in the reverse in 2 cards for Pisces? Right, so this is you might have been dealing with either a Cancerian, an Aries, a Leo or a Sagittarius individual. Doesn't have to be though. This person, you can see the King of Wands. Now when you get King and Queen of Wands, they deal with intuition as well. So Wands represent the intuition, our thought processes as well. These are highly intuitive characters. So a King of Wands and a Queen of Wands are highly intuitive people in the tarot. And you can see, this is why I like using the Hanson Roberts deck, because of the pictures on the cards. So you can see on this card, can you see how this person has a wand and his head is on the wand? So he's thinking. Can you see how he's deep in thought? I think that this ex is thinking. I think he's deep in thought, and I think that this person is intuiting. What are they intuiting? That they need to put a lot more hard work into situations, because the Eight of Coins, it can be a working situation as well. So it might be that right now the strength is with this Moon energy in the reverse. This person has great self-awareness at the moment. And it is because the Moon is the card about the self. So the Moon is the card that says, well, within one's, if it's not an external situation about somebody who's keeping secrets, then this is about the need to use one's intuition, even in the darkest of times when the card is in the upright. Because you don't really need to know what's going on. So this card, the Moon in the upright, is all about the sixth sense. And what we are feeling, what we are intuiting, what our sixth sense is telling us. So with the Moon card, you might be feeling that there's going to be danger present around you when it's in the upright. And you need to use your intuition, your sixth sense, as if to say, do I go left or do I go right? If I go down the left path, does it mean that a big tiger's going to come out and eat me? If I go down the right, am I going to be clear? So it's a card about needing to use one's intuition. But with the Moon in the reverse, you know exactly what it is. You know exactly what it is that you need to do, because it's the card of self-awareness. So I feel that this person, the ex's strength is that they are very self-aware. Why are they very self-aware? Well, they've been doing a lot of thinking with that King of Rods. They've got great intuition here, I feel. I think that this King of Rods has great intuition. This person's been doing a great deal of thinking about the Eight of Coins, about something that they've been working on. They've been putting a lot of effort into with the Six of Coins, okay? Perhaps bringing rewards, because you've got a Six of Coins, sorry, showing here. I just felt that I needed to pull another card. So I think that this person's been intuiting with that King of Rods energy here about something that they've been working on, bringing rewards to them, because the Six of Coins represents something that brings rewards to you, whether you're getting paid, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's gratitude, whether it's, you know, this person might be intuiting whether whatever it is that they're working on will bring them rewards, or whether this work that they're doing, whether they should be giving back to someone or something in their life. But they've been doing a lot of, they've got a great deal of self-awareness here on because they've been doing a lot of intuition. They've been doing a lot of intuiting with that King of Rods, a lot of thinking here, all about this hard work that they've been putting into a situation here, whether it's going to give something back to them with the Six of Coins, whether it's worth continuing with it. Because I think within their life right now, they're feeling probably quite depressed. From what I can see here, I think with the Star in the reverse more than anything, because I think that there's a situation here that they've left with the Six of Rods. Their weakness is the Nine of Coins in the reverse. Why is this ex's weakness the Nine of Coins in the reverse? Why is the ex's weakness the Nine of Coins in the reverse? Show me in 2 to 3 cards. Well, this represents fortune, Wheel of Fortune. This can mean big money, or it can mean that you've been in a very fortunate stage within your life. But the wheel can turn for good or bad, so don't be confused by that card. It's not always good fortune with the Wheel of Fortune. Sometimes this is something turning for good or bad with that Wheel of Fortune. Well, no. 9 of Cups. Okay, so I think that their weaknesses with the 9 of Coins. Now, the Wheel of Fortune is about destiny and fate, destined for happiness. So their weaknesses, I feel, with the 9 of Coins in the reverse, this isn't... it can be twofold. This person looks like they're a bit of a gambler to me when I look at the cards, because if it's anything to do with money, maybe they're using their weaknesses always to take their resources, put it into certain things that they're hoping that a gamble is going to play off, because the Wheel of Fortune is all about taking a gamble, because you never know where the wheel is, where the dice is going to, where the dice is going to roll. You never know where things are going to fall. You don't know how the cards are going to fall with a Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune for me is all about taking a gamble. So for them, they like to take a gamble because with the Nine of Cups, they want it to pay off in a really big way. So it might be the weakness is something to do with money. If it's to do with money, that they're usually overspending, taking their resources, could be betting on the horses. It could be, you know, putting it into different grand schemes so that they can get a payout. It might be with the Wheel of Fortune here. Maybe they're looking for fortune to bring them happiness. Maybe with this Wheel of Fortune, they're taking a gamble here that's going to lead to great success with the Nine of Cups. Some of you guys, the weakness might be always not wanting to be on one's own. Maybe they feel that they are destined to be happy with the Nine of Coins in a particular relationship, for example, with the Wheel of Fortune showing there. Showing there in those energies there. Why is it that the X feels the Seven of Wands in the reverse for Pisces? Why does this X feel the Seven of Wands in the reverse for Pisces? Show me. Right, the Queen of Swords shows up here. And the Ace of Coins. Okay. So the Queen of Swords, there could be somebody else around them. I mean, I think that they're very surrendered concerning you. Okay. So the Queen of Swords can be two things. Queen of Swords can be a very chatty, very vivacious, very communicative female. But the Queen of Swords can also be somebody who cuts things out. So this person is emotionally distant when you get her as an energy. I don't think it's anybody that they're committing to, though. I don't think it's a woman or a male that they're committing to as a Queen of Swords, because the Ace of Coins is the starting of a venture as well. It might be that there's somebody else that they're starting a venture with, but they'd have to have a very checkered love life, because it looks to me like they've left something here and it's made them depressed in their life right now. But it looks like, to me, that maybe you are the Queen of Swords, Pisces. Maybe you're the one that spoke clearly and honestly that you wanted a commitment, with the Ace of Coins energy showing here, because the Queen of Swords is somebody who talks frankly and she talks honestly. So I think it's more to do with that this person is very accepting and very surrendered concerning you. It doesn't feel that it needs to put up its guard anymore, because I think that this X recognises something with that Seven of Wands. It's standing in a place concerning you of acceptance. And I think it's because there was clear communication with this Queen of Swords energy about commitment here with the Ace of Coins. Not unless this was something to do with something legal in terms of money, for example, within the relationship. Why is it that Pisces feels the Queen of Pentacles for the X? Why does Pisces feel the Queen of Pentacles for the X? Show me in two cards. Right, so we've got Death, which is endings and transitions. Okay. And the Knight of Cups. Okay, so when you get the Death card, don't always feel that it means an ending. Because sometimes this card, when there's a card that follows after it, it means that this is transitioning into this. So for some of you guys, you might feel that this X could change. There could be a change that occurs that brings in the Knight of Cups, brings in an offer of love, brings in an invitation. So I do feel that you guys are still very open to this X. Okay, I think that you're still considering the X. I think that you're still evaluating this X. For example, if there will be a change in terms, maybe this person will offer marriage, or maybe they'll come back and they'll say, you know, I want to wear my heart on my sleeve. I want to offer love again. I want us to get together again. I'm telling you that I love you. I think that you're in a place where you are thinking or considering with this Queen of Pentacles energy here that maybe there could be some huge transition that comes in which the X, and this is you though as the Knight of Cups. So maybe you're considering whether a transition could mean that you could therefore offer your love. Because you are the Knight of Cups, Pisces. You're a Knight of Cups is a Pisces person showing up here. And there's an offer to restart the relationship. Because the Magician shows there as well, and the Magician means to start. Because this is the cause and effect card. So when you get the Magician in a love reading, this can often mean that the most beautiful relationship is going to happen. It's going to manifest. Something's going to manifest. It's going to come in. So I feel that you guys, your feelings for the X are you're still considering this X. You're still thinking about this X. And you're still in that evaluation mode. Because you're thinking to yourself, well, what if a massive change came in which I could therefore offer to restart the relationship. If this isn't you with the Knight of Cups, then you're thinking about the ex coming in and offering to start the relationship up again with the Magician energy. Why was the strength in this relationship the Seven of Swords in the reverse for Pisces? Why was the strength in this relationship between Pisces and the ex, the Seven of Swords reversed? Right, so you got the Ten of Swords, which means endings, breakups, separation and betrayal. Oh, and you've got a Five of Swords, brought loss. Okay. So there was a betrayal in which one of you... I think that the strengths were, within this relationship, a great deal. You weren't fooling yourself. I think that you knew. I think that you knew that this relationship probably wasn't going to last very long. I think you already knew that because, look, they're all sword cards. Every single one of them. And the Seven of Swords in the reverse means when you've got great clarity of mind. And it means you're not fooling yourself. It means you're being honest. There's an honesty that comes with the Seven of Swords in the reverse. So the strength in this relationship was all about great clarity of thought. Nobody's fooling anyone in this relationship. This isn't kind of living in an illusion. There was complete and utter self-awareness. I'm seeing self-awareness with Moon in the reverse and self-awareness here in this relationship. So I think the strengths were mental awareness within this relationship, because the Ten of Swords, I think that hurt, pain within this relationship has brought loss. I think that this has happened before. I think that maybe for some of you guys, this was somebody that you broke up with before and you ended up getting back together again. That's what I think happened probably within this relationship. The weakness, again, we've got this Five of Swords here, because the weakness was the Five of Swords. And why was the weakness the Five of Swords for Pisces and this ex? Why was the weakness in this relationship the Five of Swords? Right, the Knight of Coins. So the Knight of Coins is all about somebody who moves slowly. Somebody who's got a long-term goal, but they do move slowly as well. I think that somebody was... I think the weakness was... There's two ways I can look at this. I think the weakness was somebody who was taking advantage of the relationship. Possibly Pisces, because the Knight of Coins can represent somebody who's committed to a long-term goal. It's not reversed. So it's either that the weakness was somebody was taking advantage of the situation because they knew you as the Knight of Coins, Pisces, had a long-term goal for commitment, because the Hierophant in a love reading means commitment. So somebody had a long-term goal in terms of commitment, or somebody here, the weakness was, again, somebody, I would say somebody taking advantage in the relationship because they were dragging their feet, taking a long time to commit to the relationship, with the Hierophant energy showing there. And why is the potential for Pisces and this ex to come back together with the Death card reversed? Why is the potential for Pisces and this ex to come back together? Death in the reverse in 2 to 3 cards. There you go again. Queen of Pentacles shows up here. And the Two of Coins. Okay. I think that there is either another person around, and it could be something to do with this area here and this area here. There's either another woman around, Pisces. This wouldn't be you. This could be a Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn female, dark, or male or female, sorry, dark-haired. But the Two of Coins here is a card that represents somebody who's playing. So it might be that the potential for you guys to come back together, death, well, yeah, you could have a resurrection. It might be because there is another, I think that because there's another person who the ex is probably not 100% certain of. Because the Two of Coins means to weigh up. It could be that there is another queen that this person's been weighing up, that the ex has been weighing up. They're not quite sure. When you get the Two of Coins, it can also mean uncertainty and feeling a slight sense of imbalance. So I feel that it might be that there is another person that the ex is probably not sure about, especially as within their life right now. I think the ex with the Star in the reverse kind of feels a little bit down. They're probably quite depressed. I would stay with the Star in the reverse, because I feel that there is a relationship here, the Four of Wands, that they've probably walked out on or left at the moment. But this person, whoever it is that the ex is leaving, they're still kind of uncertain. I think that they're on shaky ground with the Queen of Pentacles, which is why there is the potential to return to you with the Death card in the reverse. Why is the ex showing the overall analysis of the ex being the Page of Coins reverse? Why is the overall analysis of this ex the Page of Coins in the reverse? 2 cards, please. Right, King of Pentacles showing here. So King of Pentacles would usually be a committed individual. Okay, so a King of Pentacles and the Knight of Rods. Okay, so I think that this person shows as a King of Pentacles, and I think that this person likes to be on the move quite a bit. So even though this person is showing in the upright as a committed individual, somebody who wants marriage, somebody who, it might be business. So it might be that this person works in a certain business, and maybe with that Knight of Wands they do a hell of a lot of travelling. For example, with the Knight of Rods, because the Knight of Wands is a card that suggests somebody who does a lot of travelling. So it might be that this person, it's either that this person maybe lives far away. With the Knight of Rods, it might be that they live in a very long, in a very far away place, far away location. It might be that this is a long distance thing for some of you guys. It might be that this King of Pentacles, because I'm thinking that this person is either a fire sign, a water sign, or a, so far from what I can see, an earth sign individual. So it might be they're showing as a King of Pentacles because it might be that they're a business person. It might be that this person does a lot of travelling with the Knight of Rods energy, okay, because the Knight of Rods is a card about travel. But also this Knight of Rods is a bit of a player as well. Not all the time. Sometimes you get Knight of Rods in readings, and this could be showing somebody who's very passionate as well with the Knight of Rods energy. So it might be that this person does a lot of travelling, or this person is, they're a free spirit as well, because the Knight of Rods represents to be free spirit. And we've got a Fool card here as well. So it might be that this King of Pentacles is a little bit for free spirit and doesn't like to have baggage, because the Fool card, usually when that shows up in a love reading, this shows somebody who's not committed with the Fool energy. So the Fool energy is, if it's a relationship that you're in, sometimes it can be the partner isn't particularly committed and they don't really want any baggage. They don't want anything holding them back. Okay, so I feel that this person, they're showing us the Page of Coins in the reverse, because I think that they're showing us lazy and they're showing us non-committal overall with the Page of Coins. They don't really want to lay down any seeds. They don't want to sow any seeds. They don't want to plant any seeds into this relationship, or perhaps any type of relationship in a way, because I think that they show as a King of Pentacles here. This person might be a traveller. They might do a lot of travelling with that Knight of Wands and the Fool energy. It might be that this King of Pentacles does a lot of travelling and doesn't want to be held down by anyone, because you can see that with the Fool energy, this person holds a bag on their back and it's very, very light, so they've got no baggage. This person might do a lot of travelling and doesn't want baggage with the Fool energy. They don't want to really be held back. Might be that this King of Pentacles is a little bit of a player with that Knight of Wands energy, and they don't really want to be held back by, you know, other people, or having to be settled down in a particular relationship. Why is the obstacles to Pisces and this person coming together? Reconciling the Justice card in the reverse in 2 to 3 cards, please. Well, we've got a Ten of Cups, and Ten of Cups we talk about soulmate energy, but also relationships that are happy and contented and joyful. And the Strength card, okay, because I think that, you know, relationships here with this Ten of Cups, and the Strength card should be good with the Ten of Cups card, because it represents strength and sustainability in relationships. So I feel that within a long-term happy relationship, this person would need to, and I think that it's more, I think that the obstacles are injustice in this relationship, and that's what stops you guys from being together. Number one, I don't think that you're necessarily soulmates with this individual with the Justice card in the reverse, but I also feel with the Justice card in the reverse, there's been a lot of unfair behaviour, because I feel that this relationship, the Ten of Cups, the happiness, in order to have that happiness, it has to be sustained. It has to be a joint effort with the Strength card, because the Strength card in terms of love can also be a soulmate card. It can represent people who have opposing ideas coming together and working those things out, because the lion, if you can see, the woman tames the lion, and the lion doesn't mind being tamed. So within this relationship, this Ten of Cups, having a happy and sustainable relationship with that Ten of Cups requires strength. It requires two people to work together, and I think that this is why the obstacle is this, because there is none of that. The obstacle is justice in the reverse. There isn't a fine balance. There's not a balance in this relationship. There's an unfair treatment probably, but also more than anything, there's great imbalance within this relationship, because to sustain a happy relationship, it does require strength. It does require two people, no matter how difficult they're finding it, to come together and work through the issues. And that's what the problem is with this area. Why would the outcome, in which, sorry, I just felt that I need to pull one card, in which one of you will not play dice, because the Four of Coins means greed and miserliness. and it means somebody's quite mean and somebody's resistant, in which one of you is quite resistant to this, with I believe with the Four of Coins showing here. Okay, one of you is quite resistant to putting the work in with the Three of Coins. I just pulled another card there, because Three of Coins means putting the work in, team effort. And the Four of Coins stands outside of that Three of Coins and says, I don't really want to have to put the work in to this. So I feel that the obstacles for you guys coming together is Justice in the reverse. Neither of you is really playing to the same tune, to the same beat with the Justice card in the reverse. Because in order to sustain a happy, joyful relationship, you need strength. You need two people to work together no matter what the differences are. And one of you with that Four of Coins is very mean and very resistant to working on this situation with the Three of Coins. And you've got the Three of Coins reverse here being what the outcome would be. Well, why would the outcome of this relationship between Pisces and the ex be the Three of Coins in the reverse? In 2 to 3 cards or more if I need them, please. Well, the High Priestess shows up here. Sometimes the High Priestess in a love reading can mean somebody's out of reach with the High Priestess energy. So you've got the High Priestess and the Two of Cups energy. So I think that one of you is out of reach. I think that one of you... It's either that this is a secret person, because High Priestesses, but usually when they show up in readings, High Priestesses should suggest other people in relationships with that Two of Cups. But also more than anything, the High Priestess represents somebody who is out of reach in a relationship. They're quite aloof. And I think that this is more that one of you, and it's funny because the High Priestess is also a Pisces card as well. Okay, so I don't know whether this is you, Pisces, as the High Priestess. It might be that you're intuiting something in this relationship, because the High Priestess is all about using our... well, it might be that you're intuiting. It might be with the High Priestess, because you're Pisces and because the High Priestess is a Pisces card. I'm reading it two ways. It's either that this person here is very aloof and very detached from the commitment with you and feels the need to block this with the Seven of Wands, or you're intuiting that this, you know, if you were to come back together with this person, Pisces, I'm seeing failure with the Three of Cups in the reverse, lack of agreement, the inability to work together with this individual, because it might also be that your intuition tells you that with this relationship, the Two of Cups, it's going to be a struggle with the Seven of Wands, because the Seven of Wands represents a struggle. So it might be either that you're intuiting that within this relationship it will be a struggle and that's what makes it fail, or it's a case of that one of you, it could be the other person, is so aloof and so detached from your connection with this Two of Cups energy here that there becomes a great struggle within the relationship. Either way, whether it's you or whether it's the other person, I'm seeing struggles overall. And if this person came back and asked for a reconciliation, Pisces, why should you do the Four of Wands in the reverse? So if this person came back and asked for a reconciliation, why should Pisces do the Four of Wands in the reverse? Show me in 2 to 3 cards. Right, the Ace of Cups talks about love and being open to love with the Ace of Cups energy. And you've got the Page of Cups. Okay, so this is about new love. I think that you should, and it's really weird that those cards should show up together, because the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups are two of the finest love cards you can get in the tarot energy showing here. And you've got a Ten of Coins here. You've got a Ten of Coins here. And this is an amazing energy. These three cards together are beautiful. This is all about new love. This is all about being open and receptive. Both cards are about being open and receptive, demonstrating feelings within a new relationship here that could build for the long term. So maybe this is with somebody else, because really the Four of Wands in the reverse should be saying no, no chance. It really should be saying if they came back, what should you do? The Four of Wands in the reverse would be, well, the way that I read the Four of Wands in the reverse, well, no, because it's not a card that shows agreement or joy. It's a card that shows unhappiness. So really, and this is also instability. When you get this card, it's a reversal, and so it represents a lack of success and the inability to build something and to have it come to fruition. So really, for me, this is a no. You shouldn't be going there, because I think that you'll find happiness in a new relationship in which you will be able to build, because this is the new relationship, the early stages. New relationship. So I think what it's saying is you should say no to the ex, because there could be a new relationship here for you. Might be with a fellow water sign with the Page of Cups, but it also might be that there's a new relationship coming in for some of you with the Ace of Cups energy showing here, in which there's going to be love, somebody who's receptive, both parties being receptive to love, possibly even talking about with that Page of Cups, building something for the long term with the Ten of Coins. So I feel that there's another relationship going to be happening for some of you guys in the outcome Pisces. I don't think it's with this person here. I think it's with somebody else that you're going to have a happy relationship. And you've got the Three of Cups there as well. So these are marriage, engagements, all sorts. This is, you know, some of you guys might be getting married in the future. Some of you guys might be getting engaged in the future. You know, you might be doing some family planning, for example, because the Three of Cups can very much be a family planning card as well. Baby makes three. You know, there's a lot of family planning going on here. Some of you guys, it's brilliant cards for your clarifiers. And that's why you shouldn't be going with the ex. Because the ex doesn't know what it wants. We're going to go through this reading again. And you're going to find a relationship with somebody who does know what they want. Somebody who really does know what they want in a relationship. But it's not going to be with the ex. Let's have a look at who the ex is right now. So the ex is the Star in the reverse. I think that this ex has taken themselves out of life a little bit. They might be going through an introspective stage. I think this person might be riddled with a lot of doubts, a lot of fears, a lot of uncertainty with the Star in the reverse showing here. Okay, I think that they lack inspiration. It might be because I feel that there's a relationship, could have been a beginning of a relationship that this person's walked out on. I think they've left someone here, or they're considering leaving somebody here, for example. It might be that somebody left them, which is why they're feeling the Star in the reverse. Their strength is self-awareness. Moon in the reverse. Great self-awareness, great mental and emotional insight here. And I think that they have been intuiting with the King of Rods. Okay. It could be that as the King of Rods, they are very, very aware that it takes hard work and effort, okay, in a relationship with the Eight of Coins if you want to receive anything good back. It could also be that they've been intuiting about putting hard work and effort into a relationship. Will they receive anything back? So there's almost a question mark, I think, with this card, because they're doing a lot of there's a great thought process going on here with the King of Wands energy. And I think that their strength is self-awareness, because they're using their intuition in terms of a relationship that they've been working on, and whether it's going to pay off, because the Six of Coins is all about a payoff. So is all the hard work and effort that they put into a relationship here, is it going to pay off? And that's why they've got great self-awareness here, because they're not certain. They're saying to themselves, I don't know whether all the hard work and effort I'm putting into a particular relationship, is this actually going to pay off for me? Because right now they're the Star in the reverse. They lack faith in whatever this relationship is. Possibly because they don't really want to be a part of it. Maybe they don't want to get married. Maybe they don't want to settle down with this person for the long term. Their weakness is the Nine of Coins in the reverse. And I don't think that this is... I think in one way it could be that their weakness is wanting to be committed in relationships. I think their weakness might not... I think it's more than anything, their weakness might be being on their own. Because the Nine of Coins is in the reverse. So the Nine of Coins in the reverse says, I don't really like doing things on my own, being on my own all the time. And I think it's because it could be either that they feel that they are destined to be happy with the Nine of Coins in a relationship, for example. But this is purely fantasy if that's the case. Because they've clearly got problems, I think, in terms of relationships in these two areas showing here. So their weakness is being on their own. Nine of Coins in the reverse. They always need to be with someone with the Nine of Coins in the reverse. They don't really like their own company. I think the weakness is that this person doesn't like their own company. Because it's almost like they feel that they are destined to have happiness with somebody else. But I think that this person has problems sustaining relationships. Because as far as you're concerned, their feelings are the Seven of Wands in the reverse. I think that they've reached a point of surrender. And I think that this person has reached a point of acceptance. And I think it's because... with the Queen of Swords energy, I think there's been great communication, honest, clear-cut communication that you, Pisces, want a commitment. You might want a ring on your finger with the Ace of Coins. So you want something that you can build for the future with this individual. And here you are, your feelings are the Queen of Pentacles. You have been doing a lot of assessing of this, a lot of evaluating, because I think that for some of you guys, the evaluation is about, well, if there could be a change that came, if this person could change with the Death card, it might be this person was a Scorpio, for example, then maybe you could offer the Knight of Cups a new beginning with the Magician to start again. Or, you know, what you've been evaluating here in terms of your feelings concerning this person, Pisces, is, well, if this person could change, then maybe they could, you know, come back and offer and invite us to start again with this Magician to start to manifest, to start to bring to life this relationship again. So I think that in a way, for some of you Pisces, you are kind of living in hope here. But I think that this person is very surrendered in terms of their feelings, because it might also be with the Queen of Swords energy that this person is emotionally distant from the idea of building a relationship with you with the Ace of Coins energy. Within this relationship, I feel the strengths were transparency with the Seven of Swords, and also a great deal of self-awareness. Nobody was fooling anyone. You weren't fooling yourself, and the ex wasn't fooling themselves. Because I think that there had been great hurt in this relationship with the Ten of Swords energy. Great disappointment, breakups within this relationship with that Ten of Swords that ended in bitterness, ended in fights and conflict with the Five of Swords, and ended in loss. And I feel that the weakness in this relationship was, again, we've got the Five of Swords here. It's because this person was an opportunist. They were taking advantage. And why were they taking advantage? Because you had a long-term goal for commitment, but also they were taking advantage because they were moving. They knew exactly what they were doing, that they were going to move very, very, very slowly when it came to committing to you, Pisces. The overall outcome, the overall potential possibility of you reconciling while the Death is in the reverse, yeah, there's every opportunity for you guys to reconcile, because this is the card of resurrection, turning back the clock, never fully closing the door. So the potential for you guys to reconcile is a yes with Death in the reverse. But it's only because, and I think it's in this area here where this ex is uncertain about another individual. This individual, I feel, with the Queen of Pentacles shows here. I think it's because this ex is uncertain about a Queen of Pentacles. Could be a dark-haired male or female, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, somebody that they work with, somebody who's quite grounded. But now I feel it shows this person here. The reason why there's the potential for this person to return to you is because it's not 100% working out with somebody else. Overall, the overall analysis of who this ex is, Page of Coins, reverse, lazy, lazy, lazy. Doesn't want to put the hard work in, doesn't want to put the effort in, wants everything to come quickly, gets fairly bored very, very quickly. And why is that? Might be because they show as a King of Pentacles. So this is somebody who probably, and I think that this person shows as a King of Pentacles. Two things I'm thinking, really. King of Pentacles can show somebody who's very cautious. So it's either that this person is now showing as a King of Pentacles, because it could be that this person is very cautious about moving forward in the relationship, Knight of Wands energy, because the Fool energy, they like to be free. Because the Fool energy shows somebody in a relationship that likes to be free, and they don't like having their hands tied, and they don't like baggage. So it could be that this person is very cautious about moving forward with the Knight of Wands because they like to be free with the Fool energy. It could also show maybe this person has a big job. Maybe they're a business person, for example. Maybe this person has a big job, does a lot of travel, and doesn't really like to feel that they've got baggage. So they like to come and go as they please. The obstacles to you guys being together are Justice in the reverse. There's a great imbalance in this relationship. For me, Justice is one of the soulmate cards. It shows that when the universe is bringing the right soulmate, the right person to you. And I feel that this person here, I think that the obstacle is that you guys are not properly aligned. And why is that? Because I feel that a long-term, happy, sustainable, emotionally content relationship requires two people to work together with the Strength energy, in which one of you, and this is probably the ex with the Four of Coins, was very resistant to putting the work and the effort in with the Three of Coins. If you were to come back together, what would be the outcome? Well, Three of Coins in the reverse, separation, lack of participation, lack of partnership, lack of rewards, lack of recognition with that Three of Coins in reverse. Why is that? Either this person is very aloof and very detached from the idea of connecting with you, so they block you out with the Seven of Wands, or you, as the High Priestess being Pisces, have intuited or will intuit that at some point in this relationship, this Two of Cups energy, this person's going to reject you or block you out. So I think that there's a great deal of distrust of this individual. And the only reason that you'd be coming back together is because this person's not getting on with somebody else. It's not, the ball is not in your court, the ball is in theirs, I feel, Pisces. So the only reason why the Death card occurs, the potential for you guys to resurrect this relationship, is because something's not working out with somebody else in this ex's life. The overall outcome, if the ex came back and asked you for a reconciliation, should you go for it, Pisces? Well, no. Four of Wands in reverse, I would probably always read as being a no. Why is that? Because I think that new love is going to come in for you with the Ace of Cups. That's if you haven't got it already, okay? And I think that this new love has the potential to grow. with the Page of Cups energy. It could also be with the Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer individual, again with that Page of Cups. But I also feel that this is, you know, there's new love coming in with the Ace of Cups. I think it's going to be loving, caring and nurturing with the Page of Cups energy. I think you're going to have a great deal of communication with this individual. And I think that there's going to be the potential to grow and to develop this relationship into something that is long-term with the Ten of Coins. Could involve marriage, engagement, and also baby showers and children with the Three of Cups. So I think that you're going to have love with somebody else, but I don't think it will be with this ex. I think you're going to find somebody else that you can have a sustainable relationship with. But I think that this ex just has a few too many problems to be able to sustain relationships with you and probably anybody else. Alright, that's your reading, Pisces, for how your ex feels about you. I would like to say thanks ever so much for joining me on Carol's Universe and have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.